excused.
Yes,
Excused.
there's just four of us. There's
Yeah.
just four of us, so.
Pity. The big
So I'm going to
crowd.
call the Administration Committee to order. Item number 33 is a discussion on establishing, we don't need a roll. Yeah. A discussion on establishing an exclusive zip code for the city of West Dallas.
Yeah, I'm curious about this.
Yeah, what prompted this? I think
I
with
don't
social
know.
media, right? I mean, it's the confusion over sales tax. Who's going to take this?
Yes, we're both not even,
We're not really briefed on it, but what we have heard is that.
Who's the-
This came about, I think, out of state, and then it made its way to Wisconsin. I think when Mayor Kentucky, Gwen Moore, and there was some conversation about should the city have its own zip code.
Well, do we
we
have
have 3 zip codes
We
currently.
have 3 right now. Yeah.
53227, 219, and 214?
214?
With, I think 2 and 4 being probably the largest.
Well, that's more this one.
Yeah, it's right here.
Some
Yeah.
people
That's
just
me.
have consolidated into one.
Is that,
It's for branding.
is that, so when the TV show comes out, it's just like 90210?
Yeah.
thing? So it's just,
53219,
everybody knows what we're talking
dun,
about?
dun.
I think it'd be kind of cool, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do we have the authority to do this? We,
It
we,
takes some congressional things, a lot of discussions today about
Who
it.
asked to put this on the
I think
the
this was
agenda?
about sales tax.
I think it came also from the mayor.
Yeah.
Well, where's he?
Sales tax.
Do you want me to grab him?
I think Jason would.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we could just move on to 34?
Oh, somebody's popping down.
He's coming? Okay. Here he comes.
Sorry, Mayor, we're
You've been
kind of
summoned.
failing.
We're flailing around on item number 33 in the zip code issue.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
Oh,
All
All
of
of
it.
it.
Have a
No,
seat.
I'll pace.
could you speak into a microphone,
I was saying,
please,
do you
and
wanna
state
pay
your name
for
and
it?
address for the record?
All right. Who's chairing this? You? All right, Mr. Chair.
Mayor Devine.
So short of it is about within the last year, a congresswoman from Colorado had introduced a zip code bill that changed a lot of communities, including hers in Colorado, their zip code to synchronize into one zip code for the community. And I had probably had one individual in the community who had contacted me repeatedly, maybe two. And then news of this zip code bill started to broaden and get more coverage. Well, in Milwaukee County, the mayor of Greenfield and the mayor of Glendale both have been very vocal about wanting their own zip code. Some of it was due to the Milwaukee sales tax, and yet they were getting calls from residents. I believe it's Glendale is about 11 or 13,000 people and has more zip codes than West Dallas does. There's just a lot of confusion. So when I was in Washington, D.C. in March, I had talked to Congresswoman Moore and Congressman Fitzgerald, and they had asked about it, and I just said, honestly, I have only heard from two people. I think Alderwoman Keene and I talked about it briefly, and you indicated you had not heard anything.
No,
at that-
the same one person I
Yeah.
think reached out to both of us.
And then I think I talked to Alderman Haas a little bit, and he had not heard anything. So I just really didn't see it as much of a groundswell from the community that they wanted to change the zip code. Now, maybe after they see it on the agenda tonight, that, we might get some more phone calls. However, I've gotten maybe two more since the story broke. One person had contacted Congresswoman Moore's office. One had contacted Congressman Fitzgerald's office. I had asked when I was meeting with them if they knew how it would impact all the businesses and changing their websites, changing their letterheads, changing, if they're still going paper, using their business cards, how much, all that stuff would have to be updated, all of their addresses of people that are shipping to them. I don't know how long that would automatically forward. They could not answer that. So I guess I just wanted to talk to the council and see if maybe any of you are hearing anything that I'm not, and additionally, just see if there's any appetite in exploring it further.
Has anybody heard anything from other constituents other than what was mentioned?
No.
I'm going to just say, I would imagine zip codes are kind of like congressional districts or aldermanic districts, that they try to have them equal number of, in this case, customers or residents or mailing within each zip code for a certain amount of balance. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But I do know zip codes, I think, are they still used for like setting car insurance rates and things like that?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
West Allis would all be like in one car insurance rate then, that's something to consider,
Sure.
whether it be good or bad, I don't know. And there might be other issues too. I guess car insurance is the one, or that's the one that springs to mind.
Yeah, and if, Madam Chair, if I could, or Mr. Chair, if I could,
Sure.
there's, like when you book a hotel or order something online and you punch in your zip code, it auto-populates to Milwaukee.
Yes.
And there were some people when the new sales tax took place that were coming in here and they were going to do everything they could to get their $2.80 back that they overpaid on that 1% sales tax for their Amazon purchase or their, Netflix subscription or Apple TV subscriptions, things like that. So there were some people that were contacting the state DOR to get that fixed, and I think a lot
they've
of
got that mostly fixed
I
by
think
now.
I have not
Yeah.
gotten a call about that for a
Yeah.
long time since. Yeah, I think that there were some
Tire tax.
Yeah,
the wheel tax. Yeah,
the wheel tax, yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of why I talked to Alderman Haas, and we just decided to put it on as an informational discussion item. And if we do hear from more residents that would like us to explore this,
I
we
think
can.
I think once you consider the real costs involved I think for most residents it wouldn't be a problem, but businesses, they have an investment in their name, their brand, and their zip code,
Yeah.
in their marketing stuff. I think there's going to be a real cost there. Does anybody? I'm just trying to think. I know there's phone number things. There's a 312 beer based out of Chicago. You see 414, that's phone number based. I don't see too much marketing based on zip codes, so I don't think that'll be an issue. But yeah, maybe we should just listen to see what our residents say. I don't think it's a hot,
Mr. Chair,
yes.
although I agree
Patty.
100%, I think that it would cause a lot more confusion than anything. Although on a personal note, as a resident and as the alderwoman for her district, I can't get anything delivered to me to West Allis. I cannot. It has to be Milwaukee. My address is Milwaukee, no matter what. And if I try to put in West Allis, it tells me your package may not get to you.
What?
So just food for thought on that.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I cannot, on my Amazon, I finally have it set to that preference of like West Allis, and if it's gonna get lost, it gets lost. But if I don't correct everything, it automatically goes Milwaukee, and it will not let me put in West Allis without acknowledging that I may not get my package. So,
Okay.
Just food for thought. Mr. Chair, I agree. I don't think there's anything pressing. I don't think the, juice is worth the squeeze at this point of what it would cost businesses to switch over. I do have that same thing. Hit okay, your package will still get
oh, I know,
Yeah,
I do.
they'll find you.
I
They'll
do
They
find
told
you.
me that about my pizza the other day,
I do
and I
have a
still
couple
got
of
it.
websites that won't send it to me unless I switch to Milwaukee.
Well, just buy it
Yeah.
from somebody else then.
Well, right. But yeah, I don't think there's any, I think it's,
But
keep
I-
on radar, but I don't think
Yeah.
there's.
Okay, are we discussed out on this?
Discussed.
Okay, we're discussed. Item number 34 is a resolution for the purchase of new computer equipment for city staff in the amount of $94,385.07. And I see our Director of IT, Tony Warkachevsky, is right here
Pretty
with
good.
us, going to fill us in.
That's pretty good considering I called you Weagle one time instead of Weigel.
I ran out of that. I went through that in kindergarten. I'm done with that.
Sorry.
Okay, Tony, fill us in.
So thanks for your time and attention. I am Tony Warkachevsky, the IT Director for the City of West Allis. I just want to spend about 5 minutes having a transparent conversation about why we're spending a little bit more money on computers than we normally do. So with that, we have a program here where we replace any computer as it turns 5 years old. That's about how many years you can get out of a computer these days. And given the number of computers we have, that means about 80 computers a year we're purchasing and replacing. The exception is when we do the police department. We did the police department last year, then that number jumps to about 110. We saw that coming last year, so we put a little bit more money in the budget for last year because we were buying more computers than usual, and we covered that, so there was a consent agenda item and we were good to go. So when I set the budget for this year, I knew we were going back down to 80, and I put the budget at 50,000, assuming we would buy about 80 personal computers at $600 a piece, or $48,000, and I just rounded up to 50. Then I remembered, after the budget was set, that the computers we bought 5 years ago were bought in 2020. So who remembers what happened in 2020? COVID.
Nothing came.
We bought a lot of laptops in 2020 under Rebecca's direction. That was important so that we could run the city using remote work. And the people that we bought those laptops for have gotten a lot out of that investment. They love them, and they don't want to go back. So while I got the number right, we are buying 80 computers this year, actually 81. We're not just buying PCs anymore. We're buying 46 PCs and 35 laptops. And you add all that together, laptops are about $1,100, PCs are $600. You get to $67-ish thousand, which is north of my $50,000 account balance. I can cover the delta there by moving some money around within IT. That's called a budget transfer. I technically need approval from this group to do that. I hope you say I can. And then I can solve the problem for miscalculating the cost of new PCs this year. But we're not just spending $67,000. We're actually spending $94,000. So there's 3 other things that we want to do this year that aren't part of this 5-year recycle program. One of them comes from the police department. They have a room at the police department. It's called the report writing room. It's where all the officers go near the end of their shift, and they sit down in front of a new computer and type up kind of their notes for the day. And they have this little monitor in front of them that is very old and hard to see things on. The police department has convinced me that's a wise investment to get rid of those old monitors and replace them with 2 better monitors. And the price tag on that is $3,000. I told them I was hoping I could pay for that out of my $50,000, but now I can't. So at the last minute, I had to ask them to help fund that. And lo and behold, they found the money. And as you read the resolution, there's an account number that would pay for those extra monitors. The second of the 3 requests came from Public Works. Their fleet division and their inventory division has been using iPads for a while. Those aren't working the best, and they want to upgrade to a certain kind of a laptop called a Microsoft Surface Pro. The price tag on those is about $2,000. But I'm convinced it's the best investment for that group of people when you consider they spent some time at the desk doing a lot of data entry. Marty, I think you have an iPad. Doing data entry on an iPad is kind of cumbersome. The Surface Pro, it's going to make them a lot more effective in their job. And then when they have to go to a vehicle or go to inventory, they can take it with them and continue to work effectively. So that's a $20,000 price tag on that one. But Dave Webking has supplied funding to support that. Again, the account numbers are in the resolution. And the final one is Mr. Schock here behind me. He just wants an extra Surface Pro, I think, to replace the laptop. He found $2,000 to fund that. So you add all that up, it ends up being the $90,000. We have the money in the budget to afford it. The final thought, and by the way, PCs just in general are going up in price. So I think our days of doing all this in $50,000 land is going to change. I think next year I might be putting in the budget something closer to $65,000. I hope you approve that when that time comes. It's a factor of inflation, and just the fact that we're making our workers more mobile has a little bit of a price tag to it. My last comment before I ask for questions. I'm an IT guy, and I've seen over the course of my career how much impact the right device in a person's hands can change their productivity. Most of the people that are getting these higher end, I should say all the people that are getting these higher end laptops or Surface Pros are the folks in this organization that tend to make the most money. So even though they may be going from a $600 PC to a $1,100 laptop or even a $2,000 Surface Pro, given what we pay them, given the fact that they're going to be using that device 2,000 hours a year for the next 5 years, if they can get a little bit more productive, it pays for itself really quickly. And so with that, I hope you support what we're trying to do here. Wanted to be transparent. It's more money than we thought, and let you know that next year it's going to probably continue to be a bigger expense for the city.
So Tony, it'd be fair to say that this is really just a series of transfers from other department budgets and your own budget.
Exactly.
So that's really not like we're reaching into a reserve fund or going into the rainy day fund or anything like that.
No.
So these are all just transfers, so. those-
For IT, we have to hope that there's not an emergency repair that's needed, like lightning hitting the tower at the police department, which happened a few years ago.
For that.
And squirrels chewing through fiber. We had that happen a few years ago. I have some money in reserve in case there's an emergency repair, and I'm kind of gambling that we won't have this year, and that's where that money's coming from. For Jason, Dave, and police, I think it's largely unspent salary dollars
Okay, okay,
because of attrition and backfilling and
yeah. Any questions from the committee?
I think this makes a lot of sense, as does moving people over to laptops.
Yeah, yeah,
Motion to approve?
Second.
okay. Any further discussion?
thank you so much for your support.
This is a resolution. We need a roll on this? No? Yes.
No. Just say all in favor, say.
Oh,
aye.
ordinance, or, yeah,
Committee, you can just.
okay.
Just a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I think we're good, Tony. Thanks for coming.
New person coming to CDA.
Yeah.
Last name's Annette.
There being no further
His kid.
projects to come before this committee, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Administration Committee is adjourned.
All right. We will, once I get to my page, we will call the Economic and Development Committee to order. Please note that all council members are present with the exception of Alderwoman Grove, who's excused. Item number 38, conditional use permit for NNS Towing, a light motor vehicle service at 11139 West Beecher Street. This was part of our public hearing. Is there any further discussion on this item?
Move approval.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Number 39, new Class B tavern license for Frantega I'm gonna butcher it.
Are they here? Or is that you guys?
Gasse LLC, DBA Frontage El Gasse 5823 West Burnham Street. Agent Gabriella Morgan.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, so you, this is a new Class B tavern license, and this is for, it looks like your main business is going to be a restaurant?
Yes.
And then you're looking to obviously serve cocktails with that. And you have your, no jukebox, pool tables, anything like that, correct?
Yes.
And have you operated a restaurant before?
Yes.
Okay, where is that currently?
What?
Where currently? Do you operate the restaurant?
Yes, in my country only, and here I work before in a restaurant. Direct, no, but I am supervisor.
Okay.
Yes.
And you have a current license called Ventura's Tacos, but it reported closed in April 2025. So is this separate from that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you applied for the occupancy permit, and that's still in progress currently? For
Repeat me
the
again.
occupancy permit?
Yes, it's in hold because it's no. Yes, it's yes.
Okay.
You can speak up. I don't-
What, was someone, yes,
Thank you.
So,
Dan?
the occupancy permit's ready to go. We were just waiting for for their liquor license before we issue
Yeah.
the
Got it.
occupancy permit.
Okay.
So that it
Yes.
would, otherwise it would know, like, no liquor license is attached to that license.
Okay.
But every inspector has been through and then signed off.
Okay.
Just waiting on this and then planning and zoning.
Yes, thank you. All the process is approved. Only I wait for the license alcohol.
Okay.
You know.
And are you familiar with all the alcohol laws that you have to have either the owner has to be present while serving alcohol, or that they must obtain a bartender's license?
I am. Yeah, I am certified to serve alcohol. Only me.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
So then you would have to be present
Yeah.
every time, or your bartenders, again, would have to obtain their own bartender license.
Yeah, all the time I am present in the
Okay.
business.
Are there any further questions for the applicant?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So, what's the theme? What, is it Mexican or Venezuelan? What's the,
It's good. The restaurant, all the food and drink is from Central American.
Okay.
It's food Central American, specific from my country, Nicaragua.
Okay.
You know, yes, it's food. The gastronomy is big, the big gastronomy. Yeah.
okay, and back to the liquor. So you've taken the responsible server course, so you understand about serving people. You can't serve people that are drunk, but you also understand that all the liquor that you sell, you have to buy from a wholesaler. You do know this, right?
Yes.
So you can't go to like Pick and Save or, yeah, you'll have to go to one of your licensed, they'll be licensed wholesalers in
Yes.
Wisconsin. Okay.
Yes.
And there's some rules about keeping all the receipts on the premises. Do you know all this?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure that we're clear on that. And what was this location before? Oh, okay. Thought that address was familiar.
It's
Yeah, on the
only
south
this
side of the
address.
street there.
Yeah.
Yeah, on where Beloit, on the
Right
triangle.
where Beloit and
Yeah,
Beach are,
yeah.
cro-
And
or
are you-
Burnham cross?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And are you leasing or buying? You leasing the space?
Leasing.
Leasing the
Yes.
space? Okay. And again, this is your first restaurant in this country.
Yeah, but the owner, yes, is
Yeah.
my first.
Well, congratulations. I know it's a big step.
It's not only me, it's my sister. I have two sisters, so it's partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Now back to the license. So you have what's called an operator's permit, okay? That means that so you can make drinks and give them to customers, or you can make them and hand them to a waitress and they can deliver to the customer. But if someone else is gonna make the drinks, they have to be under your direct supervision. That's what the language says. So it's not enough that you're there. You have to be able to kind of see what's going on. Okay,
Yes.
you understand? Sometimes there's some
Their own license.
there's been some other bars that have had some confusion about what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not enough to be in the room or on the block or
Sure.
going out to get they have to be under your direct supervision.
Yeah.
Okay. Or they can get a license too. You know, that's might be simpler if you have somebody who works for you full-time or regularly, so, yeah, okay.
I had one last question. I see the hours are till 2 a.m. Do you plan to serve food until 2 a.m.?
Yes, because the function in specific is restaurant and in something hours. The function is buffet, you know, because we have people leaving to the work maybe 10 p.m., 12 p.m. So only the McDonald's and Burger King is open.
Yeah.
So we our restaurant is open at this hour for the serving the food.
Thank you.
Okay,
Is there
Madam
anything else?
Chair?
Yes.
As long as she brought up the 2 p.m. means,
2 a.m.
at 2 a.m., everybody has to be out the door at 2 a.m. It can't just be they finish their drinks, 2 a.m., they have to be, and 2:30 on Friday and Saturday, you know.
But
They
yours is
they
2
have to be
a.m., so-
gone out the door. They can't be hanging around. That's all part of the licensing.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, so I don't know if there's further discussion. On one of for Friday, you have 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm thinking that's just a typo. Because you would like Sundays, Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 a.m., correct?
Yes, it's in a specific this
And-
day.
And
Yeah,
then
the other
Monday
day, yes,
to Tuesday, Wednesday, you want 8 a.m. to 11 p.m.
correct.
I mean, you could put 2 AM, doesn't mean you have to stay open till 2 AM. Just keep in mind, we could look to amend it to put the 2 AM, but if you put 11 PM those days, then you have to close at 11 PM. If we were to change that to 2 AM, you don't have to stay open till 2 AM. But it does give you the flexibility that if all of a sudden you notice on Wednesdays, you're really have more business, and you might wanna stay open later, you don't have to come back in front of us.
Okay.
Would you wanna make that amendment, or do you wanna leave it as is?
We can do that now if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No, I'll move we make that amendment to
A
4
second.
hours.
Motion to approve with amending the hours of Sunday through Saturday, 8 AM to 2 AM.
Correct.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion?
Nope.
No, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, good luck to you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Do you know when you're gonna, I'm getting hungry now.
Right?
When,
I want
how many,
all
a
in my-
couple
in the
weeks?
restaurant.
A couple of weeks yet? Do you know when you're gonna open?
Maybe, but it's confirmed or approved the licensing maybe in the last week that June.
June?
Okay.
So a couple more
Okay.
weeks yet?
Cool.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Con-
Thank you.
this-
Oh, yeah.
So, just, that's a caveat.
What do you mean?
Yeah, this license,
So if we grant her a license, it would technically expire June 30th. She would then have to reapply for.
Yeah, for a renewal.
and have to do the next
Yeah.
licensing period.
and it'd be,
So
so
she should wait to open till July 1st?
to save the money.
Yeah. I
Well,
would shoot for
Do you
July
understand that?
1st.
Do you understand?
Yes.
The license expires on June 30th. So,
You would
and
have
you
to-
applied for, the license that you applied for ends on June 30th, and right now, you'd have to put in a renewal, like, right away to be
Okay,
open on
it's
July
useful.
30th, or July
Okay.
1st.
So wait till
If
open
you can wait till
1st.
July 1st,
Okay, but I can open in this, or maybe I can start the process again.
Open, you can't sell alcohol.
Yeah,
Well, you could open, but then
Okay.
July 1st, you're gonna have to pay for another renewal license.
another license.
Okay.
So you
It's-
could,
it's
you
too-
could
okay.
pay twice, or you could open, but you'd have to wait to serve alcohol until July 1st. That way, what you pay now is good for a full year.
Okay, perfect. I understand.
Okay,
Okay, so is that, do we need to amend the application?
okay. Yep, and we can explain in Spanish after if you want any
Oh, okay,
clarification.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Good luck again.
Do we need to amend the dates on this application right now? Because,
No, because it's based on when it's granted upon issuance.
oh, okay, okay. It won't be issued till July
Yeah,
1st?
should be
or-
fine, if that's
okay,
what she decides to do.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Item number 40, new Class B tavern license for RW2 DBA Shelby's National Tap, 9,000 West National Avenue, Agent John Roots. John, hello, how are you?
Good evening, afternoon.
We see you're moving into another business venture.
We're just trying to, yes, we are. Yes,
So, I mean, I don't have, you're looking to buy the old, formerly Scooters Tap.
correct.
You are obviously aware of all the, legalities to running
Correct.
a
We
bar.
will be officially taking over as of July 1st, the licensing, which we were just discussing. But yeah, Scooter will finish his term out at the end of the month of June.
Okay.
So yes,
And I see occupancy has been applied for.
I believe so, yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
so.
So I don't really have, obviously, you know what you're doing. Parking is somewhat of an issue there.
So
let's
we've worked
just-
with Dave Berthers, DA
Okay.
Berthers right across the street.
Street.
Yep, and they agreed to letting us have parking after 5 PM.
Okay.
We will continue our shuttles coming down National Avenue, so that is the addition that'll be there, so those guests can park across the street with Berthers there as well, so.
Does anyone have anything?
John, how long was it Scooters? Do you know?
I want to say 23, 25 years.
That's it?
Well, but it's owned by a family that's been there for close to 100 years
Yeah,
now.
that's what-
Don's Tap, prior to Scooters.
That's what it was. That's what I
Don's.
remembered. It was Don's,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
So
I would.
we're not serving food. It's just going to be a corner bar like it's always
Just the
been.
inside. You're not doing anything to the outside, right? There's not an extension of premises
Not
for
yet.
this.
We haven't gone. I mean, we might have picnic tables out there so people can not just lean up against the walls and stuff.
Right,
but
right.
It just
I think they have
depends.
one there now even.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if that day comes, when, we do have it listed, I believe, as the use. I don't even know anymore. I'll be honest with you. But I know that we used every possible hour, just as you explained the young lady before. I don't see us open past 2 a.m. many nights. I mean, even with our original location, we stop at 12 o'clock, so.
Yeah, and, are you buying the house next door as well?
The house is part of the deal, correct?
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So your closest neighbor, but obviously they're used to living by a bar because it's been one for years. So, there was a motion and a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed?
Congrats.
Good luck again.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Number 41, resolution to amend certain activities of the fiscal year 2022 annual action plan in the Community Development Block Grant CBDG program relative to reallocating funding in the amount of $50,000 to improve Liberty Heights Park Pavilion. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, is this part of the leftover monies that has to be spent?
This was actually money that is coming from housing, 2022 housing rehab, for multifamily, and we didn't use that 2022 money, so you're right, we closed that out and, reprogram it towards the Liberty Heights Pavilion to complete that project. Yeah.
Okay. I would do a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. All right, resolution approving the community development block grant in the amount of $1,430,732 for fiscal year 2025, one-year annual action plan BMB25MC550011, and a five-year consolidated plan for 2025 to 2029 relative to the community development block program. So, Steve, you had sent a email on this. So I sit on community development block grant. Was this, we allocated the funds for this year, and now 4,000 is going to be moved from the community service officer to the WISH program. And that request was made directly by the police department?
Yes, so in light of, we received our funding notice from HUD earlier this month, and they indicated that we'd be getting $25,000 less. That's sort of compounded also with the a little bit less program income than we received. Than we were estimating to get more program income, and we're not there. So in total, about $150,000 less than we originally estimated. So we're just making adjustments throughout the entire annual plan, and we had to make cuts across the board. As a result, we had to make some cuts, and then the police department had recommended that we just take 4,000 from the CSO and move it over to WISH.
And what does that 4,000 do? What does that take away, or what does that impact?
I spoke, the chief's here, but, okay, yeah.
Hello, Chief.
Hello. So it's really just a shift of money. We have Scott Poklasny bills against that grant, and there are 2 or 3 other officers in the department during their normal patrol duties that are billing against that grant. They're all near the Liberty Heights Park area. This would simply be a shift that we would not bill 4,000 to the grant. We would instead go to the city salary line item that's always in good shape for our department. It would not result in a decrease of less police officers on the street. It's just a shifting of money from one pot to the other.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there any further discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right, number 43, resolution to consider a contract with Tracy Cross and Associates, Inc. in the amount of $19,875 for residential market study on the West Dallas housing market. Patrick sent an email about this. Does anyone have any discussion?
No.
Is there a motion?
Move approval.
I'll second it.
Second? Any, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else to come before economic and development?
Yeah.
Yes. We approved that, number 38. It was Yep, Marty, I think approved and Novak seconded. All right, nothing else? All
Move to-
right,
Move to adjourn?
yep. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.